Macau Black Sand Beach Corpse Burial Case. The 2021 Macau Black Sand Beach Corpse Burial Case refers to a murder, dismemberment and illegal corpse burial case that occurred in the Cotai area and Kaloan Black Sand Beach in Macau in early September 2021. It was also the case following May of the same year. The murder of a money changer in a Cotai hotel and the mutilation of corpses in Tai Tam Mountain in June of the same year were the third case of the same type that occurred in the same year. A woman who was working illegally in the money exchange party was killed by a 36-year-old mainland Chinese man and later buried her body on the Black Sand Beach. Case history: the suspect entered Macau for gambling in early September 2021, at noon on September 8, 2021. The suspect falsely claimed to the deceased through WeChat that he needed to exchange 200,000 Hong Kong dollars, and made an appointment with the deceased to conduct the transaction at the Londoner Hotel in Macau. After the deceased entered the hotel room, the suspect robbed him. When the deceased resisted, the suspect picked up an ashtray and hit the deceased multiple times on the head. After the deceased lost consciousness, the suspect sexually assaulted the deceased and then robbed the deceased of 200,000 Hong Kong dollars in cash and a mobile phone. After the suspect confirmed that the deceased was dead, he briefly went to mainland China and discarded the deceased's mobile phone. He then returned to Macau and rented a unit in the North District through a real estate agency. On September 9 of the same year, the suspect moved the deceased's body in a suitcase to Macau. The above-mentioned unit later went to the Black Sand Beach to check out the sites, many times to find a suitable location to bury the body. And the suspect even went to the supermarket to buy a flat-bottomed wok for digging holes. Case solving and arrest process at 7 p.m. on September 9, 2021. The police received a report from a Chinese man that his 29-year-old girlfriend surnamed Peng was missing. The police immediately launched an investigation. In the early stages of the investigation, a man was also suspected to be related to the case. At about 9 p.m. on September 10, the suspect took a taxi with the suitcase containing the body to the Black Sand Beach to dig a hole and dump the body. Afterwards, he returned to the hotel casino to gamble again. At 1 a.m. on September 11, the police intercepted the suspect in the lobby of a casino hotel in Central District. After questioning, the suspect confessed that he had killed the female victim, but refused to disclose the crime process and the location where the body was abandoned. The police immediately followed up the investigation and initiated serious crime scene investigation procedures. Investigation on September 11, 2021, the police announced the case. After investigation, the suspect had the idea of committing a crime after losing all his gambling money of more than 100,000 yuan, and decided to rob the money exchange party. According to the forensic report, 2 contusions and lacerations about 4 centimeters long were found on the deceased's head, and the exact cause of death still needs to be further determined after an autopsy. The police also stated that after conducting a technical inspection of the hotel room, they found a large number of blood stains in many places in the room, and determined that the hotel room was the scene of the first crime. The police officer also believed that the deceased was still alive when the suspect sexually assaulted him. He did not rule out that the deceased eventually died of excessive blood loss. He also added that the hole where the body was buried in the black sand was about 1.5 meters deep, and the police exhumed a complete body. The police officer also revealed that the suspect had a criminal record of robbery in mainland China, and the case still awaits further investigation. Trial in June 2024. The Court of Final Appeal upheld the original verdict of the case, and the suspect was sentenced to 29 years in prison without any reduction. The collegial court pointed out that the suspect committed a crime with a high degree of intentionality and inflicted violence on the deceased, causing the deceased to suffer pain and injury and became comatose, thereby taking away the 250,000 Hong Kong dollars belonging to the deceased and keeping it for himself. In addition, after killing the deceased, the suspect reflected his extremely cruel and callous methods, showing his extreme indifference and disrespect for other people's lives. Although he admitted the charged facts in court and expressed regret, his performance in court was extremely indifferent and failed to apologize or compensate the family of the deceased. Taking into account the facts and circumstances found in the case, as well as the personality of the suspect reflected thereby, the original verdict was upheld.